guys, my name is Olivia. Welcome to my channel where I share how to live a healthy, happy, independent life as a quadriplegic. So today I'm going to cover the topic of hemorrhoid care. Just because with a spinal cord injury, we tend to be more prone to hemorrhoids just because we're sitting all the time. Also dealing with constipation, and depending on how you do your bowel program with the digital stim, it kind of brings them on. This is also a great video for new moms or people that are dealing with hemorrhoids and how to take care of them so they're not as painful and so they don't get infected and stuff. And then at the end of the video, I will show you how I make my own cold compresses. I used to use the Tux all the time, and then I found it was just really wasteful to always have to throw those pads away. So now I just kind of make my own. So anyways, if you stay tuned until the end, I will show you how I do that. So because we're more prone to constipation, to have a smoother bowel program and prevent hemorrhoids from happening, it's very important to drink lots of water or herbal tea. You should be taking a look at drinking about 2 liters to 1.5 liters a day, even more if you can. Another thing is making sure that you have some kind of fiber. So either using psyllium husk in the morning, or like ground flaxseed also really helps. And having that along with water, like with fiber, you need to make sure that you have water at the same time, because having the fiber without the water or some liquids will end up doing the opposite and end up backing you up rather than getting stuff moving around. And then the other one is doing some physical activity helps as well. As you're moving around, it tends to move your digestive system ends up getting more energy, and it moves your digestive system around and moves your bowels around. So while you're doing your bowel routine, it's helpful to elevate your knees so your bowels end up coming out a bit easier, and it avoids like straining on the hemorrhoids as well. So putting like a stool or a block in front of the toilet or on your commode helps to like elevate your knees. Then when you're done your bowel routine, keeping the area clean is very important. So I usually use some kind of wet wipes that normally I have the cut nail right now that I'm using because somebody gave those to me and I'm just trying to finish them up. But I usually use the Honest wet wipes, and I'll put all this stuff in the description below if you want to take a look at the stuff that I'm using. But just because they're a bit more sustainable for the environment, and then just wiping the area gently and clean, like in between like that hemorrhoid cracks, depending on how your hemorrhoids are. Mine were really, really bad until I had to get them removed. So I had to make sure to clean those up. And then usually after my bowel program, I end up showering. So this is another good way to get the shower and just make sure that you wash it with soap, and a soap that's not abrasive as well. You have to make sure that your soap is gentle on the body, and then wash it to make sure that you're nice and clean down there. So once I'm done my bowel program and we've wiped and I'm kind of clean down there, I'll use a cold compress that I've made. So I'll grab those out of the freezer and put them where the hemorrhoids are and hold them on there for about a minute or two until it starts to get warm, until the thing melts. And this really helps with shrinking the hemorrhoids and also keeping the hemorrhoids disinfected with the witch hazel that's in there. And another thing that you can do if you have hemorrhoids, if you have a really bad hemorrhoid, that you can use Preparation H or Anusol. With that, you just have to make sure that you don't use that every day, that you use it just once in a while, just because it's got hydrocortisone in it, and the hydrocortisone can create like skin breakdown if you use it too often. So with a spinal cord injury, because we can't feel the pain down there, it's important not to use that all the time. Just once in a while if you have a really bad hemorrhoid day. And if it's really bad too, like normally I've had days where after my bowel program, like just from it being just not the best, I've had to kind of like lay on my side in my bed just so I'm not sitting on my hemorrhoids and I'm not dysreflexic or feeling pain all the time. I've also have those like little like circular ice packs that I have, where you can like, once you're sitting down in your chair, you can put them underneath you and sit on them for a while to, yeah, it's like kind of like a cold compress type thing down there. Another thing that you can do for hemorrhoid care, I mean, like I don't personally do it just because I don't have the balance and I can't transfer onto the toilet and do it myself, but is using like Sitz baths. So Sitz baths are basically this basin that you put on the toilet, and then you just fill it up with water and put either an Epsom salt in there or some soothing oil or baking soda, and you sit on there for about 10 to 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, and it helps to soothe the hemorrhoids. Basically, it helps with the pain that you're feeling. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of how I would take care of them. So now I will just show you how I make my cold compresses. Okay, so now making the witch hazel compresses. So anytime I'm in the kitchen doing something, I usually have my tray with the handles that I put on my lap, just so it's easy to put stuff on it and transfer things on it. And what you need for that is just a clean bowl where you're gonna put the witch hazel in to eventually like dip the pads in and yeah, dip the pads in to soak them. And then you'll need the witch hazel, where with the witch hazel, making sure that there's no alcohol and that it's just pure witch hazel, because alcohol is quite abrasive for that kind of area. And then I have an old container from the Tux I used to get, which is like a witch hazel, which were like witch hazel pads, but felt really wasteful to always have to throw those away. So I've kept the container, which is where I end up putting the pads that I reuse now. And then I have my pads that I use that have just been washed and stuff. So I usually put them in one of those like mesh bags to wash them in the washer and then dryer. And then once they're ready, I can just reuse them and stuff. And I'll put all the equipment that I'm using in the description below if you want to take a look at it. So the first thing that I would do is put the witch hazel inside the bowl. So you can choose to like open it up this way, like the flap, but I find this doesn't really go out really quickly, so you might be squeezing the bottle for a while. So I just choose to unscrew it and then put it in that way, because you need to a bit more than if you were just going to be using it once. Okay, so now I'm putting a little bit of this in the bowl, and then I'll leave it open for now just in case I need some more. Then opening up the container to where I'm going to put the pads. And then I can empty the pads that are in the bag in there. Put one on the counter. And then just grabbing the pad and soaking them into the actual witch hazel. And then putting them in there, flattening them out in there. And I don't put, like I've tried before putting the pads in and then pouring the witch hazel in, but because it freezes, they end up sticking together and they're not soaked properly half the time. So that's why I do it this way. It takes a bit longer, but it kind of works. And you just kind of put the pad in there and let it soak. You can like make sure that you unroll it and make it flat, and then so you can put as many as you can in there. Okay, so the container is getting pretty full. So normally when you put I try to flatten them quite a bit and press on them so like you can fit the most in the container. And then once the container is full, then you can put the lid back on it. And And then I'll put this in the freezer, and in the morning when I need to use it after my bowel program, then I'll take those out and use them. And usually to take them out, I also use like because it sticks together quite a bit, I'll use a butter knife to be able to pull them apart. And by I mean it's only my caretaker that does this, because I'm not usually on the toilet when finishing up. And then once the tux is all the witch hazel pads are all done, I usually have a little bag that comes with the pads. I'll put them in those little bag, and then when this bag is full, I'll transfer it into this mesh bag and then just wash them so I can make some new ones and put them in the freezer. And yeah, this is basically what I do to take care of my hemorrhoids. Let me know what you do as well. Like, I'm always interested to hear what other people are doing. And if you like this video or you think somebody would benefit from something like this, please share it with them. And thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.